Howdy on Wolvex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, just finished making a metal knife to replace this bone knife. And I think I should have the stuff. Yep. Check it out. I can replace my leather wraps with... Oh man, I got so many leather wraps. With brass knuckles. Do I have anything that can go in my brass knuckles, you think? Clubs. No, doesn't look like I've got anything useful like a weight or a blade or anything like that. A minute 20. Whew. It's a long way up. Well, it's not even daytime yet, so I guess got plenty of time for that. So I'm kind of excited a little bit. The new adventure for D&D comes out tonight. I think it's tonight. So I'm excited to see what new stuff is in that. Not that it has anything to do with anything, but I was just like, I'll probably wrap this up and go to bed. And I'm like, ooh, no, I want to stay up till a little bit later to see if they release the book. I think they release them at midnight, my time. So I am interested to see what's in there. You ready with those knuckles yet? 25 seconds. $25. You know, I realized that I have never found a I have never found a traders. Like, I wonder if that's broken. Yeah, look at that. I got me some iron knucks. Brass knucks, technically. You know, my father had a pair of those when I was younger. I wonder whatever happened to those. My brother probably has them. Yeah. They descended like scavengers years ago when my father died. Get back. That's right. That's right. We're dealing with new weapon for me today. Aw. I take some gasoline. I don't remember if there's anything in here. Well, I wasn't looking for you guys. Getting some good stagger with these. I say that, and then the next one doesn't stagger and hits me. Well, I tried to super stagger her, right? Just constantly punching her to knock her down. Oh. Yeah. When do we get access to the bladed ones? I do not know. Oh. Well, that's weird that the front refreshed, but this back here didn't refresh. Hello, mechanic. Dressed in your jumpsuit, your coveralls. It's not a jumpsuit, it's a coverall. Oh, it didn't refresh in here either. Weird. Why are the gas pumps outside refreshed, but nothing in the building is? That's just bizarre. All right, we'll move on out this way. I'm gonna go check some of these side road areas here. See if I can't find traders. I haven't seen one yet, and I'd like to start accessing trader stuff. Should I find one that has spawned in? Um, so while I'm looking, we can talk about Raised by Wolves. Oh man. So I talked about this, was it a week ago? I'd watched the first 3 episodes. So episode 4 came out last week. And spoilers, because I'm going to talk about it. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying this show. I'm really digging it. Uh, I I really like the one character on there. She's this robot, right? And I'm really glad that like crazy sci-fi like this is getting to be popular because this is my jam. It's nice to start moving away from the superhero stuff back to good old super science fiction. Uh, Not that I don't like the superhero stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy the superhero stuff. But there's been a lot of it, and I'm feeling superheroed out now a little bit. Um, Plus, I feel like the people making the superhero stuff has kind of lost their way, um, and we stopped being epic and have moved to trying to be funny, and I don't like funny. I thought that was a pair of bears down here, and then I think it turned into a rock and a zombie. Um, but yeah, I really like the necromancer, as her robot type is called. It's pretty interesting because I guess she's I talked about it last time, but there's like a war between these two groups, the atheist and the Mithraic, or the cult of Mithras, or whatever they are. I don't know. I have a problem because I think they're named after something real. Like, I mean, it's a cult, but like a real historical cult. And so I'm a little uncertain if they're the cult of Mithras or it's something like that. And so when I hear them say it, in my head it's the cult of Mithras because that's a thing. And the Mithraic order. Uh, but they I'm pretty sure it's a little different in the show. And maybe not. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. I just am aware of its existence. Uh, but yeah, so that got pretty weird this week with the cult or the Mithrases. I don't even know the Mithraics. Let's go with that. The Mithraics. Um, so one of the storylines in the Mithraic thing is that these two people disguise themselves as members, and I can't tell if they're like actual members, just not. When I say members, like I think they were like mercenaries who are working for the Mithraics, and then they disguise themselves as actual members. And so now they're, on the planet with the few remaining members. And so it got a little weird this week because they found a thing in the desert that is in their prophecies. Uh, and and things got really weird with it, and so I'm not sure what is going on with that part. Oh man, will you just pick this lock of the storyline? No, man. That one didn't want to be picked. I'll pick it the old-fashioned way then. And then they've got an issue with food. They found out that the food was poisonous. And ooh, there's a creepy basement in this place. And so they're trying to find non-radioactive food and are failing, or non-poisonous food. And so that's pretty interesting. But I'm enjoying the show quite a bit. The other show that I've been watching is I don't know. Was there anything else that really happened in the episode? I know they had the whole thing with the weird like pyramid thing they found, and then right, they had to kill a creature for food, which they're all freaking out about, and the necromancer used so when the Mithraics, the Mithrists, the Mithris, yeah, I don't know what to call them. The Mithraics, when they travel to the planet, they put themselves into well, rad remover is not bad. I might put that in my Nux for right now. That's a handy thing to fight irradiated zombies. I don't think it really works on much of anything else, but man, I am cleaning house with these knuckles. I like it. But she went into like their cyber worlds, their virtual reality, their I don't know, whatever it's called, and so you finally got to see what happened to the other embryos. They, because I'd mentioned last time I talked about this, that they had come with 12 embryos, and they had 6 children, and then all the children died off due to some issues. And I'm trying not to spoil it completely. And so I was wondering why the other children hadn't shown up. And so they revealed what happened to the other embryos this week. They did not. They did not get turned into children. Is it just me, or no? I guess that's kind of looks like a trapdoor, doesn't it? But I guess it's not. Okay. Guess we'll keep moving up this way. Undertaker's caskets. Well, you're not a trader. So that place wasn't a trader's either, but I stopped and looted it for some reason. Oh, that doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. I'm still waiting for the giant worms to appear because I know they've got giant worms. Yeah, we can talk about that too. So I really like Dune. I like the book series. I like the Sons book series. I like the old movie. I think I like the newer movie from like 2000. Um, and so now they've got the trailer out for the new one. But it's pretty funny because somebody pieced together matching images from the old movies and has like triple a triple trailer where the scenes from the new trailer are played with matching scenes from the old movies, which makes an interesting look at how some of the stuff plays out. I'm not gonna lie, I am still a big fan of the oldest movie, and my one friend was super excited about the new movie. Uh, and was like, "Have you seen the trailer? Have you seen the trailer?" And I'm like, "Not yet." And he's like, "Oh, you gotta watch it right now." And so I watched it, and I'm like, "Yeah, it looks all right." I, uh, I mean, I'm a big fan of the old movie, so there's some changes in the new movie that make it a bit different from the old movie. Um, so when they have the exact same scenes, but they have different dialogue, it feels a little jarring. You know what I mean? Uh, and so, um, it's I'm so used to Chani, which is one of his wives, uh, calling him Usul, and then the new trailer, he is called uh, Paul, which is his name. His name is Paul, but it's not Usul, and I don't think I heard anybody call him Wadib. Wadib. Uh, uh, and you know what? I kind of like the worms on the old one better. Uh, the new ones look all right. I don't have anything against them. Um, I just like the design on the old worms better. I wish they had stuck a little closer to that. Um, the I guess if you don't know anything about Dune, right? It's basically a dude. It's kind of like it's kind of like an empire. I mean, there is an empire, and they've got two of their kingdoms are at war against each other, and the emperor is having them fight each other basically so that he can retain power of the empire. And this the son of one of the kings gets caught up in it, but it's science fiction, and so it's different planets fighting each other, and in the middle of it all is this planet Arrakis, also known as Dune, where this substance called melange is found. It's the only place in the universe it's ever been found, and well, the only place in the empire of man it's ever been found. Who knows if it's out there somewhere else, but probably not because it's a biological product, and so it's only found on Dune. But it makes you live longer, and Um, if you take enough of it, it allows you to see the future. And uh, if you um, if you use a lot of it, it mutates you completely. And so there's different groups who use it in different amounts. And the main thing with it though is that the Spacers Guild uses it in huge amounts, and it mutates them so they're not human. Uh, and um, but because they've used so much of it, they're able to use their minds to fold space, and that's how they travel between planets. Is they fold space and just teleport basically from place to place. So without the spice, there is no interstellar travel, and without interstellar travel, there is no empire. And so the planet is super important, and so that's the emperor uses it as bait to have his houses fight each other because he doesn't believe that anyone will threaten the supply of spice, as it's also known. Because without the spice, there is no empire. There just isn't because um, they don't have faster than light travel without the Spacers Guild. Technically, they do have faster than light travel, but um, it's it requires AI basically, and they had a war against the AI, and so after the war against the AI has been forbidden, and so they don't have the artificial intelligence necessary to warp space. Uh, oh, great! So I know I'm thirsty. I will deal with thirsty. Oh man, I'm pretty sure I just got a cat hair in my mouth. I was petting the cat. Its dang fur is all over me. Um, okay. Thirsty. Anyways, so on the planet are these giant worms. And when I say giant, I mean like they could swallow a house, giant worms. And in the old one, they have like beaks on the end of them, and the whole planet is a desert. 'Cause that's why it's called Dune. And so in the old version, the old movie, they have these like hard beaks on the end of their bodies, and they fold open to reveal the throats of the worms. And the new one, it's more like it doesn't have a beak. It's more lamprey like, and instead of the rows of teeth, I don't know why it would have teeth anyways on the old version, but it looks cool. Uh, uh, and the new one just looks like it has baleen, like a whale, which probably makes more sense, but doesn't look as cool. Um, it's kind of like a mobile version of the pit of Sarlacc from Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, right? And yeah, but I really like the Dune series. I just this new one's gonna have to be really, really good to make me impressed because I really like the old version. I know the old version isn't exactly like the book, but as I have discussed many times, I overcame my prejudice against different versions of things, and usually try to take them as separate entities. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna like this new Dune. I'm just saying I hope it's so good that I make it my new favorite. And it's just a little hard for me to get excited about third movie version of the same story. Uh, Dune's a weird one too because like ooh, I went up a level, and I believe my level needs to go into intellect level 2, right? So that I can get yes, so that I can unlock. Oh, did you see the names on those? Oh man, I went from being a blockhead to a dullard. So yeah, it's just the original Dune movie was like considered so bad that people wouldn't put their names on it. And I don't know why. It's a really enjoyable movie. I just I don't know. I've always liked it. Also, I mean, I'm a sci-fi person, anyways, and I mean that happens. Like, I'm really disappointed that John Carter was so reviled. I enjoyed John Carter, and kind of wish that they had been able to make sequels, which I believe was the original plan. Was they were gonna because John Carter is an old pulp story from the 20s, I think, and so I kind of wish they had been able to go through more of the stories of that because I thought the movie was pretty cool, and then nobody liked it. I mean, not nobody liked it, but it didn't do well enough to warrant sequels. I wonder if the man, did I talk about Mulan? I, this ties into it because John Carter was a Disney movie, and it didn't do well enough for them to give sequels. And then they just did this thing where, because of the pandemic, because of COVID, whatever you want to call it, uh, movie theaters aren't open, and so they've got all these movies ready to go, but the movie theaters can't be open because nobody wants to get COVID and die, um, which is perfectly logical to me. And I don't want to get COVID and die. I don't. And so, uh, although it's a little easier for me because I work from home and I don't have going out of the home hobbies. And so I honestly think I may have left the house only a small handful of times this entire year. And it's not really a big difference from how it normally would have been for me. Uh, it's even a little crazier though, because my brother in law works at a hospital. So if I'm going to get COVID, it's probably going to come from him. And so, anyways, so there's no theaters. And so Disney did the thing with Mulan where they released Mulan onto Disney Plus. And I was kind of hoping that they would decide that was going to be the new way they released their movies. Because I wanted to see Black Widow, even though I think it looks dumb. Um, I really do think it looks dumb. It just, the characters that they have shown in the trailer, I just don't think everything has to be funny all the time. And it really looks like this has got funny stuff shoved into it because haha, it has to be funny now. Haha. Remember how old Guardians of the Galaxy did because it was funny? Haha. So all of our movies have to be funny. Haha. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one is one of the best Marvel movies, but uh, the fact that now they think that's the standard, I can't wait for Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's what I'm looking forward to, which will not be that kind of funny, I'm assuming, because that's what they tried to do when Josh Whedon took over. Not that I have anything against Josh Whedon in regards to making shows. Um, I mean, I was a Buffy fan back in the day, right? Wasn't that Josh Whedon? But man, I do feel like he butchered up Justice League. So I Mulan. I don't know if I've talked about Mulan. I'm going to talk about Mulan real quick here before I end the episode. Um, wasn't impressed. Uh, only watched it once, and was talking with my sister a little bit about it today. It it was a weird. Like I do know that I talked about Mulan, so I want to talk about it a little bit more just for a few seconds here. But it was a weird thing that they did with Mulan that I'm not sure why they did what they did, and I feel like they should have made a choice. And um, so Mulan is very weird in that to me. Uh, like the original is a musical, right? Cartoon musical. So the sequel is like we're taking out the songs because it needs to be epic, serious. Not sure what they were going for by taking away the songs. If they had taken away the songs because it was a serious movie, I could have understand. I could have understood. I guess is um, what I want to say. But they also kept all these weird, fantastical elements, like a phoenix flying around, which made zero sense, and like a witch who could shapeshift and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, so you wanted to be more serious, but by taking out the songs, and then you made it weirdly fantastical, and it was like, are you trying to be like a serious war movie with some of this stuff? But then you turn around and everything's decided by wirework kung fu. And it was just a bit all over the place. So, I was discussing with my sister was like one of the problems I have with a lot of modern movies is that, and I'm not saying that old movies were perfect, but what I'm saying is that a lot of movies, let's just go with that, a lot of movies, regardless of when they were made, but more so recently, um, the amount of movies I watch has greatly diminished, which probably doesn't help. Oh crap! Oh crap! It's a big kitty! No, 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 no! Oh no! I have not seen one of those before. Woo! That cougar chewed me up. That was a cougar. That was They should let you get a pet in this game. This is my bed. This is my bed. I'm gonna take all this junk home. That cougar made me forget what I was saying. Oh, the problem I have with some of the modern, okay, once again, not just modern, but one of the problems I have that's becoming more prevalent is that it feels like movies are being shot scene by scene. and there's no smooth story arc that holds the whole thing together anymore. And so they've got like characters that don't need to be, and sets of dialogue that have no impact on the film. And so like they film these scenes, but they don't edit the movie together. uh I'd be really curious to see like what happened between writing what's supposed to be a story, um filming, and then the release of some of the stuff that goes down, because there'll be like whole sets of dialogue that have zero impact on the movie, or absolutely say different things than what happened before or after them. And so it's like, I know like Justice League, I don't have an example from Justice League that happened in, but just I know that the Justice League was like completely reshot. And I think Suicide Squad was another one that had a lot of reshoots, not not having to do with the scene for scene thing. I just mean that like I wonder if reshoots are being done on these movies where they go back and reshoot a scene, and then the scene just doesn't, they don't remember, or I don't know what it is. I read a lot of comics as well, and I know I've complained before, but DC Comics, I read the DC Comics, and they used to have um, a world editor, or I don't know what to call it, a global editor for all the comics, to make sure that all the comics fit together in the same. Like there were alternate comic storylines that didn't go with the main DC world, right? Um, but they tried for a while to have like something impacts Gotham in the Batman comics. Well, if Gotham gets mentioned in the Superman comics, then that thing that happened in the Batman comic happened in the Superman comics Gotham as well. Not that it has to be mentioned, just that if it is, there's an acknowledgement maybe that, you know, that thing happened. And without it, it's super confusing to read the comics, because even within the same comic, sometimes they'll have a scene or say something that doesn't match up with what's going on in this previous issue of a comic, because they've given up on even keeping within the comic a continuity of storyline, so that they're building an ongoing world. And instead they're just like, okay, that story's done, now we're going to write a 3 comic storyline and just ignore half of everything that happened previously. And so then they'll reference something and you'll have no clue what's going on, because even within like just the Batman comic, and there are multiple Batman comics, but like just the Batman comic, in one of the Batman comics, Alfred's dead, and in another Batman comic, Alfred's not dead. And in one Batman comic, you know, Damian is with Batman, and in another Batman comic, Damian has left Batman. And so it gets to be super confusing, because there's no continuity from moment to moment. And I feel like movies are kind of headed that direction, and I don't like it. And I wonder if it's not. I wonder if it's not how we digest our stories. And so, like when I was a kid, you know, my movies were being made by people who didn't have television necessarily as children. And then as I grew up, more and more of the movies were being made by people who had television. And so, you know, we go to these more episodic style things, but now we're hitting the, YouTube people generations. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I watch a lot of YouTube. I really do, and I there's nothing wrong with it. But I do feel like there's a lack of continuity in movies, and Mulan suffered from it. And most movies I see lately suffer from it. And I just I wish they'd try a little harder at making their stories be nice and smooth from beginning to end of a movie. Uh, but all right, with that, be better than the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.